You skipped the Galaxy S26 Ultra too, didn't you? It was supposed to be Samsung's big redemption moment. Instead, it felt like a downgrade. Titanium was replaced with aluminum, the cameras barely evolved, and that heavily promoted privacy display actually reduced screen clarity more than it helped. For many people, that was the breaking point. So they waited. I waited. The plan was simple. Hold out for the S27 Ultra. Now the first leaks are here. And for once, this feels different. To understand why the S27 Ultra matters, you have to look at Samsung's pattern. For years, they've played it safe. Minor tweaks, small refinements, nothing bold. The S26 Ultra continued that trend. It wasn't a bad phone. It was actually very good. But very good isn't enough for an Ultra device. When you're charging top-tier prices, expectations change. And Samsung fans have started to notice. Even major reviewers pointed it out. The only truly Ultra thing about the S26 Ultra was the price tag. It didn't dominate the way it used to. Apple tightened its grip, and Chinese brands pushed innovation and value harder than ever. Meanwhile, Samsung felt cautious, comfortable. That's not a position you want to be in at the top. And with the S27 Ultra, Samsung doesn't really have the luxury of playing it safe again. Let's start with design, because this is where emotions run high. If you're still attached to that sharp, boxy S24 Ultra look, Samsung has made its stance clear. They've moved on. The shift started with the S25 series, and the identity change stuck. The squared-off aesthetic that many fans loved is no longer the priority. Comfort in hand is. Samsung invested heavily in refining the newer, more rounded feel. Both the S25 and S26 Ultra showed that direction clearly. Reversing it now would make no sense. For longtime Note loyalists, that boxy silhouette meant something, but most of them didn't leave. And for new buyers, especially those coming from iPhone, the softer design simply feels natural. As far as Samsung is concerned, that debate is finished.
The S27 Ultra continues with that same design language. Expect subtle refinements, possibly fresh colors, but nothing radical. The real headline isn't the shape. It's something far more iconic, the S Pen. And this is where things get interesting, because it might not be part of the main story anymore. Before we get to that, flip the phone around, because the biggest upgrade is finally happening on the back. For over 4 years, Samsung relied on the same core 200-megapixel sensor. Since the S23 Ultra in 2023, improvements were mostly software-driven, processing tweaks, algorithm adjustments. This time, it's different. According to ICE Universe, the S27 Ultra is expected to feature a brand new 200-megapixel ISOCELL HP6 sensor. And the standout feature is LOFIC, Lateral Overflow Integration Capacitor. The name sounds complex, but the idea is simple. Each pixel can store excess light instead of losing it. That means better detail in bright highlights and deep shadows at the same time. Finally, a meaningful hardware leap. Performance is also getting a serious jump. The S27 Ultra is rumored to run on the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro, built on a 2nm process. That smaller architecture brings two key advantages: stronger performance and significantly improved efficiency. It's not just about speed, it's about sustained power without draining your battery. Speaking of battery, capacity is expected to increase slightly to around 5,200 to 5,300 milliamps. On paper, that doesn't sound dramatic, but combine that with a 2nm chip and Samsung's efficiency tuning, and real-world endurance should noticeably improve. This is the kind of upgrade you feel every single day.
Now we come to the biggest decision Samsung has faced in years, the S Pen. One reason Samsung hasn't added built-in magnets like MagSafe is simple. Magnets interfere with S Pen precision. But reports from Korea suggest something unexpected. The S27 Ultra might not be the only flagship in the lineup. Instead, Samsung could introduce a new model alongside it, the Galaxy S27 Pro. Almost identical in specs, slightly smaller display, but no S Pen. The Ultra would keep the stylus for those who want it. The Pro would open the door for those who don't. It's not about killing the S Pen. It's about giving people a choice. If that's the strategy, it might be one of Samsung's smartest moves yet. The S Pen remains for power users. A cleaner, magnet-friendly option exists for everyone else. And the expected price? around $1,300 in the US, similar to before. With a new sensor, stronger chip, better efficiency, and a possible Pro model, Samsung finally feels decisive again. So here's the real question. Do we need the Pro model, or does Samsung need it more than we do? Because in this market, standing still isn't an option. And if these leaks hold true, the S27 series might be the moment Samsung stops playing defense and starts leading again.